Hey, friends and family. Hey, loved ones. Hey, fools, creators and magicians, play actors, and players in this play, players on this stage, players in this stage and in this phase of awakening. How you doing today? So I'm just waking up to play, waking up to play in this field of consciousness with love always. So I'm doing my best to let go of attachments, judgments, rigid beliefs, and doing my best to remember and surrender to be right here with me, just as I am, here as I am, just as I'll be. And man, it's been intense. It's been an intense week, and it's a lot of going back and forth, and remembering to center again and again and again, recenter, here I am. And remembering not to take things so seriously and so personally, to remember to step and go lightly and step lightly, and be the light I want to see. Walk in beauty and walk in peace and walk in balance and harmony. And that's so great. But I love it. I love the continuity. I love the continuity streams. I love the synchronicities and all this love at play. So when I focus on something, it's gonna play with me, and it does, like, in the most funny, mysterious ways. And so I just have so much fun putting the titles on my videos, and I always notice, certain continual streams with those words and those the energies that they hold and they carry and they symbolize. It's just so fun for me. So I've been looking at beauty for the last couple weeks and just appreciating all the beauty that is within and all around me, and the beauty that I am. And the power of inner beauty, and knowing that, and being comfortable and growing into my own beauty. And that's swan medicine, and swan's also connected to the dream time, which is awesome. And dream time came up in Sacred Path cards last time. I don't think I read it though, the dream time card. And so there is, some things that go along with swan, dreamtime, dragonfly, and messengers. So we'll see, what wants to be shared and expressed about all of that. But it's been so super intense. It's been, an intense yes and an intense mess. So just doing my best to make room and make space for all of it. So that all of it can be and gets to be all it gets to be. So working with strength, faith, grace, and humility, and remembering I know nothing. Being in that state of I know nothing, knowing, knowing that I know nothing. To be in that space of inner knowing, to access that inner knowing within. So there's, some awesome things about that too, and just playing around with my art, playing creativity, and chopping wood, carrying water, showing up to work and play, showing up to be and create, showing up just as I am for all of me and we, and this great discovery, this recovery, this remembering and awakening of we, this return home to all we be, this love we are, this love we need. We can be this love we need, for we are this love. So be. We are this love. Be in joy. Be love. Be you. And play. Play play always, play every day, play with myself, play with everything. Playing with life and playing in me, life playing through me, life being played. Yeah, so just silly being silly. So there's some amazing and awesome things, and just doing my thing and doing it how I get to do it in every single way. Yeah, that I allow myself to play and just show up and be me. And it's been a little challenging to just, yeah, just wanting to let go of certain things. But it's just like noticing sometimes, well, they're still hanging out, they're still around, I'm still attached to them. And it's just like, So it's just like letting go of my need to let go, letting go of my need to let go of my attachments and letting my attachments be. Just keep doing what I'm doing, just do it more consciously. And so, yeah, because I can seriously get lost in that maze of chasing my tails. Oh, always around. Yeah, just getting confused and tangled up in my own web. It's so funny and silly. Can't even say, really, how funny it actually is. And that's why, like, I think Heyokah came up in that message for me a couple days ago. I was just lighten the fuck up, okay? It's all right. It really is. So just play. And in that story, when I read about that, I had to read the whole card because Heyokah, yeah, that's the sacred clown. And that's like trickster medicine of the highest order right there. And I've known, yeah, some people that hold that energy, that Heyokah energy and that sacred clown energy, and they are like magical children. They really are. They're very wise as well, and they can have their own folly where they teach themselves and others at the same time. And so it's just like, okay, well, I'll embrace that part of myself. And it's just kind of funny because it's like part of my vanity that doesn't want to be seen as a goofball, but I am, and that's like one of my biggest strengths, is being goofy and being wild and eccentric and free. So looking at the rooster and the cock, my sacred ally and my friend that wants to play with me. So I've had lots of fun with the rooster this year, and this is seriously so stimulating. And so a couple of those things will relate and come up. And I'll share. We'll see what wants to be shared. But there is a funny story about Heyokah, and Jamie Sams was sharing about there was this one phase and stage during her life and her journey and her learning that she was being way too serious about everything. Like, because she was sincere and she just was like so wanting to learn like all of us do. But sometimes it's like, our seriousness is like a huge like way to deflate our energy sometimes if we're so serious. And so her teacher, Joaquin, was teaching her a lesson and tricking her in sort of a funny, silly way, getting her to do like something, that was unnecessary, to see like how necessary like laughter and play and not taking ourselves so seriously, how helpful that can be. And so they spent about 2 days collecting little nuggets of shit of all kinds, shit from all kinds of animals, like rabbit pellets and deer pellets and maybe even like coyote dung and like all sorts of other dung. And so then when they had like gathered all of this shit together, I got my shit all together. She was just instructed to like make it into a paste and to add water to it and to like grind it up, and she was just being so serious with that process, making a shit paste and different things. And then her next instructions were to spread it in a perfect circle on a like a certain place on a ground to do some kind of work, to do some kind of shit work. Yeah, and so she did like this perfect circle with this shit paste that she'd made. She was like really gonna like, her perfectionist was all up in it. Like, yep, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this the proper way. I'm gonna properly handle my shit. So, yeah. She took her time and her her inner perfectionist was arranging this shit around, and then she was instructed to sit there, and I think he asked her a question for her, like, to go within and inquire and introspect about, and then finally, after 3 hours of sitting in a circle of shit, I think she finally got it, that, oh my god, this is just so hilarious. I just gotta laugh at me and gotta laugh at my own bullshit, gotta laugh at my shit. And so that was like super funny, and I laughed out loud, like reading into that story. And so super appreciated that little nugget, and especially since, I'm making friends with my own shit and my own folly, my silliness. And so, I might have to share a little bit about that, but we'll see what wants to happen. So the Dreamtime card came up for me, and that was super interesting, and I wanted to share at least this little application part of it. So if the dream time has called to you, you are being asked to see with unlimited vision. Wipe the dust from your eyes and pay attention to the messages you are receiving from the parallel universe. Our world is pregnant with possibilities. All time is now. You are a co-creator in the two worlds and will be given unlimited sight and knowing if you ask for it. This vision may come in a sleep time dream or through out-of-body journeying. It will give you insight that you need at this time. Unlimited vision allows any seeker to pierce the veil of unconsciousness and come to an inner knowing. In all cases, this card marks a time of seeing truth on all levels of creation. You are now being given the ability to go beyond the accepted reality. The cocoon is open. Trust yourself, your allies, and your medicine. You may now take flight. So that's amazing and great. And that's from Sacred Path Cards by Jamie Sams. And that is great. And it does go along with truth and vision as well. And so looking into truth, and vision. And telling a new story and dreaming a new dream and birthing a new reality in through my being. And birthing a new being, through my becoming, through being all I am. So 22 is Heyokah, humor and opposites, the teaching. The Heyokah is a contrary clown who holds total wisdom and teaches the people through laughter and opposites. The sacred trickster is one who makes you wonder if what they are saying or doing is actually correct, thereby making you think and figure it out for yourself. When people are made to think on their own, the wobbly beliefs that have been a rubber crutch for them in the past are wrested. If the rubber crutch gives way and they end up on the ground, on their rump, a lesson was learned. If they stop and think, test out a teaching for themselves, and it stands in good stead, the wobbly belief becomes a knowing system for their lives. This divine trickster is called Heyokah by the Plains tribes and Koshari by the Hopi and Pueblo Indians. Many tribes have trickster teachers who dress in costume for ceremony and wear regular clothing in daily life. Their jokes do not stop just because it's not a feast day. All Heyokahs operate through opposites. The Heyokah's purported wisdom imparted to a seeker could be the exact opposite of the answers the person would find for the self. The laughter surrounding the results could be a lesson for the entire community. The Heyokah is known for creating lessons at the expense of another's seriousness. Laughter is the ultimate lesson that breaks the bonds that destroy balance in people. If the Heyokah is successful, all is taken in good fun and the bonds of old habits no longer helpful or broken. The medicine ally of the Heyokah is Coyote. The Heyokah is a master at Coyote medicine and can use the joking part of Coyote's nature to trick others into enlightened states of understanding. Occasionally, the Coyote medicine will backfire and zap the Heyokah in a blind spot. If this happens, the true Heyokah will take it in stride and laugh at the backfire, learning from the lesson along with others. Native people understood the value of being good sports. In earlier times, it was not considered losing face to have the Heyokah play a trick on someone. In fact, it was an honor to be singled out for a trick that contained a valuable spiritual lesson. Each tribal member was a valuable part of the whole, and many times the joke had consequences for more than one person. Everyone seeing the actual prank or talking of it later could relate those events to personal situations and grow from the lesson. All are forced to reflect on how they would react if they were the person the joke was played on. The Heyokah is able to master the art of balancing the sacredness with irreverence. The true art of knowing how and when to use Heyokah tactics comes through the ability to laugh at oneself while being compassionate and using the trickster elements of teaching in a way that is not cruel or self-imposing. An experienced Heyokah will know how sensitive a student is and would never use a trick on that student to create more pain. In this situation, the Heyokah would make a joke and become the laughingstock of the situation so that the student could reflect on it through another's experience. This art of self-sabotage is planned and in no way makes the balanced Heyokah feel lesser or abused. The joy of the wise elder within the Heyokah knows well that the results have created growth in another. The lesson is complete, and even the self-sabotage was staged and yet served its purpose. The sacred medicine path of the Heyokah can involve diminishing fear through laughter. Many people are frightened by the mystery of the void. They have to be tricked out of their fear so that they can see that their self-created boogeyman was the only obstacle to divine connection. The Heyokah excels in situations where stubbornness stops growth. If a Heyokah knows that someone is stubborn and has to do it his way, the trickster will tell him to do the exact opposite. Many days later, we might find the Heyokah alone in the lodge, giggling at the wondrous medicine story moving through the camp. The stubborn person had done exactly what Heyokah said not to do and had a mystical experience that was life-changing. Only the Heyokah knew that due to stubborn's refusal to be guided, the trick had worked and spiritual growth ensued. Since the magical Coyote is the divine trickster's ally, all of the antics of Coyote are suspect. Sus. When a hunter tracks a coyote, the trail will double back on itself many times and can even fool the most experienced tracker to the point of total frustration. Anyone trying to guess a Heyokah's next move can likewise become befuddled. Coyote teaches two-leggeds to find joy in their foolishness. When the Heyokah calls upon Coyote to assist him in keeping prying eyes off his trail, Coyote will assist in a multitude of ways. Yeah, and then she goes into her little fun shit story. And it's so great. Lesson hit me hard, and I laughed until I was aching with no breath and tears. Tears ran down my face. It has taken me many years to master the lesson, and I still get sucked in the drama of others at times. Joaquin was an excellent teacher, and even now he will come to me in spirit and break my seriousness with more Heyokah antics. The primary lessons of the Heyokah trick us into revelations rather than giving us all the answers. Heyokah is needed when we refuse to allow ourselves alternatives. The view will always expand if we use the divine medicine of laughter. Nothing is beyond repair. We may need to use comedy to crack a smile so we can reclaim our sacred space. Heyokah medicine can be called upon through Coyote. Remember that the divine trickster is the perfect integration of all things wise and foolish, sacred and irreverent. When we ask for those lessons, we need to be prepared for adventure. We need to be willing to laugh and to have others laugh with us. We will have achieved the ultimate union of opposites when we learn to celebrate more than we mourn. The time has come to laugh and reclaim our divine right to find pleasure in the sacredness of being human. The application: if the trickster has appeared on your horizon, you are in for a barrel of laughs. You may be doing exactly the opposite of what you need to be doing and are about to get busted for it. Stop leaking your creative energy on other people's problems or high drama. Stop being so serious and crack a smile, or Coyote will dog your dreams. Remember that some days you are the fire plug and some days you are the dog. That goes for everyone, so don't let getting pooped on get you down. Learning through laughter, opposites can be fun. The keynote to the Heyokah card is to lighten up and to start balancing the sacredness with irreverence. If you are just being stubborn, it may be time to create a contrary lesson that will force you to crack up, crack a smile, or trick you into going into the crack in the universe to find out what's really important. So, thank you, Coyote, and thank you, Heyokah. Thank you, Trickster Medicine. Thank you, Laughter. And thank you, Adventure, and thank you, Fun. And thank you for helping us break out of our seriousness. There is also a quote by Jamie Sams that I read a couple years ago, and I love to be reminded of, is like there are 5 elements that contribute to man's ability or man's inability to soar. The 5 elements are like unwavering seriousness, and yeah, that's just one of them. And then there's a couple more. I can't remember what the rest are right now. But yeah, it's self-importance, unwavering seriousness. Yeah, and maybe I'll find that and put it in the description box there. So, yeah, I appreciated that. And the West Shield came up, and that's about introspection and goals. The West is the traditional home of Bear on the medicine wheel. The color of this direction is black, which represents the void where the answers live within the dark cave of Bear. The ability to go within and to introspect is the female energy, which is receptive. The womb of woman is the place where all ideas, as well as babies, are nurtured and given birth. The darkness of the fertile womb is the place where each of us on the good red road of physical life had our beginnings. We were the future generation of our parents, to our parents. What future holds is always in the West, the place of our tomorrows. To understand the West, the looking within place, we must first understand our natures. Unless we are connected to all our relations, the standing people, the trees, the stone people, the creature beings, Mother Earth, Father Sky, Grandfather Sun, Grandmother Moon, the 4 chief spirits, air, earth, water, and fire, the creepy crawlers, insects, and all other life forms from atom to great star nation, we feel that the answers live outside of us. If we understand that the spirit of all of these other life forms dwells inside our bodies, we begin to understand that we can look within to feel and know the answers. In our earthly bodies, our cells carry memory of all that has ever been. Answers live in our spirits, knowing potential. And so I'm going to read the application for the West Shield. If the West Shield has appeared in your spread, Bear is asking you to look at your present goals and discern how they affect your future. Are the answers you seek from your own inner knowing? If not, it may be time to enter the silence and digest the questions so that your personal answers can emerge. Bear also reminds us that the West Shield is the place of all tomorrows. If you are afraid of the unknown, it may be time to clear away the fear. Strength to accomplish this clearing is Bear's greatest medicine. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future. Fill your spirit. Call on Bear and feel the courage to meet the future. Fill your spirit. In all cases, the West Shield speaks of the ability to complete our goals, the acknowledgement of our inner strengths, and the power to find and know our own answers. Remember that the opinions of others become mixed with our own doubts and become limitations when we forget to enter the silence. So that was a good reminder for me this week, especially with what I'm looking into and playing into and working through. playing through. And so, yeah, there was some really cool things that did jump out and pop out to play this week. And yeah, something really, really cool around beauty as well. And yeah. So I had been just, like doing my thing and looking at things that pique my curiosity, and just randomly looking through the tabs that were open on my phone. And I saw this article that I had opened like a couple months ago, and I went back to it. And it's about Hathor. And so I just started reading that. Wasn't like expecting anything or looking for anything in particular, but it was just kind of fun that it came up for me. And it did relate to some other things. So I had been listening to a Colette Aaron-Reed little share that she did, little predictive astrology, and it was a reading that she had done from the crystal spirits. So that was like the stone people, and the crystal energies. So I'd never heard of that one before, and so that was the first time I'd heard her do a reading from that deck. And it was really cool. And Malachite came up in that deck, and she was just saying how Malachite was her favorite, and that, just some different things. And I was like, Malachite, because I hadn't like really thought about Malachite, and I don't have any Malachite, I don't believe. And so I was like, maybe I need Malachite in my life. And so then like an hour or two later, I was looking at my phone, and I came across this article about Hathor. And I'll put this link in the description box as well. It's a very amazing article. So, yeah, the cool thing, I'll just start reading in the middle here where I am. Here I am. Hathor is the Egyptian goddess of love, joy, beauty, beer, and all the joys and wonders of life. She is the protector of women at all stages of their lives, and a kindly friend to the deceased who she guides to rebirth. Hathor is one of the most ancient deities, worshipped all the way back to the first dynasty of the Old Kingdom. Although the patroness of women, Hathor had a large following of men as well, who would not want the goddess of joy and happiness in their lives. So there's some several funny things here that relate. Just random funny synchronicities at play, because my mom called me yesterday just so she could tell me a silly joke that she heard, and that does relate to beer and to bear as well. And so it's just so funny, like just the silly things that come up. And it's just all related, and so gotta keep it circulating, and get out of our own ways. So I'll continue with this for a minute. So she is the Egyptian goddess of love, joy, beauty, beer, and all the joys and wonders of life. And I'd never known that connection with beer before. Like, of course, her connection with the cow and her connection with milk and honey, like, and the table and the overflowing cup of plenty and all of that, because she's about abundance and nourishment and taking care of her children and, the protection and all of that. And joy, joy and abundance. She is depicted several different ways. The most common is a broad-faced woman with the ears of a cow. This sounds strange in writing, but in reality is quite beautiful and elegant. She's also one of the few Egyptian deities to be shown full face instead of in profile. She is also depicted in complete cow form, but with a crown of the sun disk, 2 plumes of feathers, and the cow's horns. Which was really funny, because when I went and I looked in my Animals Speak book the other day, the bookmark that was in there was a soul collage card of a cow, and that's, symbolizes Hathor for me. And so, when pictured as a cow, if she is without the crown, you can tell her from other cows by her eyes, always made up with beautiful makeup. When in bovine form, Hathor is typically shown emerging from a papyrus thicket, calling to mind her job of wet nurse for Horus the Younger when he was hidden in the marshes from Set. The eye of the bovine Hathor is often rendered in the form of the wedjet. She is sometimes referred to in plural form as the seven Hathors. This form is usually only depicted on funerary monuments and in other references to the afterlife, but also when she is present as a midwife at the birth of children, especially royal ones, after which each of the Hathors makes a prophecy about the future and or personality of the child. She is also pictured as a sycamore tree with the face and breasts of a woman, another symbol she shares with Isis. Very rarely, Hathor is pictured with four faces, in which case she is called Temet or Temet, which means the universal one, and in this form she is the feminine counterpart of Ammon. Hathor's face was used to adorn many household objects, particularly mirrors and sistrums. So when looking at your reflection in the mirror, you would also see Hathor's image gazing back at you. The sycamore fig was the most common tree in Egypt. Egypt was often called the land of the sycamore. An early word for sycamore came to be used for all trees in general. It can grow to be 85 feet high and frequently grew along rivers. Although it is technically deciduous, it is almost always has its leaves. The sycamore was one of the most useful trees to the ancient Egyptians. Its wood is sturdy, light, and waterproof. It was used for everything from tools to furniture to architectural supports. When the bark is pounded, its sap creates a natural latex resin, which the Egyptians called the tears of the sycamore. Hathor, Isis, and Nut are called Nebet Nuet, the lady of the sycamore. As the sycamore tree with the face and breasts of the goddess, it is shown in funerary texts as providing cool water from her breasts to rejuvenate the soul of the dead and sheltering the soul in her branches. In many versions of the Isis and Osiris tale, when the coffin of Osiris drifted down the Nile and landed, a sycamore tree grew up around it overnight. In ancient times, all the dead were associated with Osiris, but during Ptolemaic and Roman periods, it came to be more gender segregated. That is, the dead man would be associated with Osiris, and a dead woman would be identified with the Hathor in coffin inscriptions instead. The sycamore could produce 7 crops of figs per year. The fig has its own symbolism, but the sycamore fig is different from the common fig. The sycamore fig was the more sacred of the two and connected to Isis and Hathor. The fig was also a symbol of compassion and mercy because it was used in medicinal treatments for various ailments. The fig is filled with a white milky substance, linking it back to motherhood, nourishment, and the divine cow. Yeah, and so that's kind of cool. The fig, which plumps and reddens as it ripens to honey sweetness, has been seen by many cultures to represent the female vulva. An Etruscan and Roman protective talisman still used today, and which is at least as old as the worship of Isis in Italy, pairs the fig and vulva explicitly. It is the mano fico, or figa, the fig hand, or simply fig. The talisman represents a hand gesture in which the thumb is placed between the index and middle fingers and the hand curled into a loose fist. With a little imagination, it looks like the clitoris peeking out from between the labia, for figa is an ancient slang term for female genitalia, or female genitals. Some figa talismans were made of blood coral, probably so that the wearer involved the life-sustaining blood of the vulva of the goddess as protection. The cow is a symbol of nourishment and motherhood, gentleness, generosity and abundance, fertility and wealth. As the great cow, Hathor nourishes the world, the pharaoh and the dead in particular. A cow and a bull can provide everything a family needs in life: milk, meat, and a beast of burden to plow the fields. Hathor mothers the sun and rises him in her horns into the sky. I think that was supposed to be and raises him, but rises him works too. In some of the creation myths, that is how the sun was first separated from the primordial waters, lifted between the horns of a cow. When pictured as a dark blue cow with stars scattering across her body, Hathor is related to Nuit, the celestial sky goddess who gives birth to the sun every morning and swallows it again each night. The pharaoh was sometimes shown drinking the milk of a cow with stars on her body. By doing so, he absorbed her divine powers. Milk was also a symbol of purity to the ancient Egyptian because of its pure white color. Making a libation of milk was in and of itself a ritual of purification. White was the color of holiness and joy. Someone who was cheerful would be described as being white, the same way that we could call such a person bright or sunny. Sacred cows were kept for Hathor in several places. The most important could probably be said to be at Memphis in the southwest delta, who was known as She Who Remembers Horus. So here's the little thing about Hathor and precious stones. As the Lady of Lapis Lazuli, Mistress of Malachite, and Lady of Turquoise, Hathor has connections to metal and precious stones, their beauty and their magical properties. She is also connected to the metals copper and gold, and was often called simply the Golden Goddess, much like Aphrodite in Greece. She was worshipped by miners of these precious ores, to whom she gave their success and wealth. Malachite was also ground into a powder and worn as eyeshadow. By so doing, the women who wore it not only worshipped Hathor by adorning themselves in beauty, but anointed themselves with her essence. Egyptian gods are not just the god of something, they are that thing. Egyptian gods are not just the god of something, they are that thing. Hathor is not just the goddess of Malachite, she is Malachite. Malachite is Hathor embodied. And I thought that was like, wow, that's freaking amazing. Like, that has to do with, like, adornments and, yeah, embodying that. Although one cannot draw definitive parallels as we lack definitive records, one can recognize a merging of physical and spiritual goals akin to the manner in which painting henna upon the body transcends mere body art for a devout Hindu woman. The ritual ideally brings actual physical connection with the divine presence of the good goddess Lakshmi, embodied in henna. Lakshmi, quite similarly to Hathor, rules joyousness, abundance, and the beauty and vitality of women, the gracious acceptance of the pleasures of life. Thus, Hathor was very likely not merely an abstract religious concept, but a vital living component of everyday life. Eventually, Isis would borrow much of Hathor's iconography and her functions, eventually even wearing her headdresses. However, the two deities are not the same, nor are they interchangeable. Isis is a being of tremendous complexity. There is tragedy inherent in her myth. Ultimately, Isis is the bereaved widow, the selfless, devoted single mother. For all Isis's fame as the mistress of magic, she cannot avoid pain, grief, and desolation. Her legend embodies both the noblest and the most hopeless aspects of human nature. Hathor, on the other hand, is the embodiment of success. She lacks the ambivalence Isis sometimes possesses. Instead, Hathor has an absolute laser-like focus. She may be joyous and benevolent, or she may be single-mindedly vengeful towards spiritual transgressors, the enemies of her father. Unhappiness, ugliness, failure, all these are foreign to her, not a part of her being. Even in her most vengeful, dangerous aspect, Hathor takes the form of an elegant, if fearsome lioness, or the searing but beautiful solar eye. That's Sekhmet. The stone most closely associated with Hathor was probably green turquoise. She was so often shown wearing the minute, M-E-N-I-T, an elaborate necklace of green turquoise beads that sometimes, even when she was depicted in complete cow form, she still wore the necklace. Modern metaphysicists say that turquoise is a purification stone. I've looked up the 3 stones most commonly associated with Hathor to see what the modern understanding of them are. This information came from the several sources, but most notably www.charmsoflight.com. Turquoise is believed to dispel negativity, stabilize mood swings, and help with depression. Its keywords are purification, serenity, protection, wisdom, balance, strength, friendship, love, positive thinking, and sensitivity. Malachite is a stone of spiritual healing, protector of children and travelers, and is used to aid success in business. It enables you to adsorb, and process information, helps ease the effects of dyslexia, encourages positive changes, and releases negativity and old traumas. It is the stone of unconditional love, empathy for yourself and others. Its keywords are calming, loyalty, leadership, protection, wisdom, comfort, balance, peace, self-understanding, positive transformation, and healing. Lapis lazuli is a stone associated with both Isis and Hathor, although more closely with Isis. With its dark blue color flecked with pyrite, it symbolized to the ancient Egyptians the endless heavens studded with the undying stars. It symbolized to the Egyptians the afterlife, regeneration, and rebirth. As a stone of heaven, it is appropriate for any sky goddess. Egyptian judges wore amulets of lapis lazuli around their necks inscribed with Mayat, the word for truth, justice, and harmony, overseen by the goddess Mat. The lapis also symbolizes the life-giving waters of the Nile. Just as the ancient Egyptians believed that lapis was a stone of joy, modern metaphysics says that it can help to ease depression. Lapis is supposed to give mental clarity, balance, yin and yang, relieve anxiety, and heal emotional wounds. The Egyptians associated it with fertility and growth, and we associate it with creative expression. The Egyptians saw lapis as a stone of spirituality and a seer stone, and a modern crystal books will say lapis is a stone of truth, friendship, and a psychic facilitator. It can be worn to deflect psychic attacks, overcome depression, and bring harmony, self-knowledge, and the courage to speak one's truth. Its keywords are inner truth, inner power, love, purification, intuition, positive magic, self-confidence, manifestation, and friendship. Lady of Love. Hathor is the supreme lady of love and beauty, she who makes the world joyous at her coming. Seeing all this, it was quite natural for the Greeks to associate the Egyptian Hathor with their own golden goddess, Aphrodite. Hathor isn't just called the golden goddess, but even the gold that is Hathor. Seeing all this, it was natural for the Greeks in Egypt to equate Hathor with their own golden goddess, Aphrodite. Hathor is the goddess of all perfumes, but is most strongly felt in myrrh. This is another connection to Aphrodite. Myrrh has heavy mythical implications. The myrrh tree was originally a girl named Myrrha, or Smyrna. She had been turned into the fragrant myrrh tree, but she was pregnant at the time. As the months went on, the trunk of the tree swelled. When it was time for the tree child to be born, a wild boar ran into the tree and tore open the trunk with its tusks. The child born from the first myrrh tree was Adonis, Aphrodite's great love, who was destined to die young. Everything in ritual is symbolic and important. Most modern people miss these little details because, unlike the ancients, we are not steeped in these myths and stories from birth. Aphrodite's great connections to the Ptolemaic dynasty, starting with Soter's son Philadelphus. Ptolemy II, Philadelphus, dedicated a temple to his wife Arsinoe, Arsinoe, under the title Aphrodite Arsinoe, but there were many new temples built for Hathor Aphrodite, not just tacking the name Aphrodite to an existing temple for Hathor, but actually building a new temple to the syncretic goddess Aphrodite Hathor, which that's super interesting. I hadn't read this part yet, and it looks like there's a lot more to this article. So I'll just stop it at that and leave it there for more investigating. And I'll put this little link in the description box. So yeah, now I'm curious about all that I have not read. And yeah, so that was great. Just opening this the other day, I spent about maybe 20 minutes reading it and reading about the beauty and then the connection to all these things that I've been immersing myself in, and the precious stones. I've really taken an interest in stones more so this year than I have in any other year, and it's been super fun for me to get to receive and to share all these different stones this year. And so lapis and turquoise and citrine and amber were some of the ones from the last couple months that I've been drawn to, and I just asked for some malachite today, and so I'll be working with malachite soon, and that should be fun to show up and play and receive and appreciate that goodness and beauty. So this is all the stuff that I love right here, and so super grateful. yeah, to receive this right now and right here. I hadn't planned on sharing that, but that's just, yeah. There's Heyokah at play right now. So, with that, it's so great. So beauty and joy and love and protection and growth and fertility and beer, I guess. Yeah, so that's so funny. That's just, my mom called just to say hi and to check in and to tell me a silly joke. Yeah, that she had heard. I don't know where she heard it, but it's so super silly. So it's about, a big old grizzly bear comes into a bar and he's so thirsty and he like knocks over some stools on the way in because of his size, and he like plops himself down and he's like so super serious and he's like, man, please give me a beer, I'm so thirsty, I don't know what else to do with myself, I need a beer, just beer me right now. And the bartender comes over to him and says, I'm sorry, but we don't serve beers here. And he's like, what? We don't serve beers here. What are all those people drinking down there? And then there's this, I guess, really beautiful, buxom blonde down at the end of at the bar, and she's just cracking up laughing. She's cracking up laughing at this bear, and yeah, just having a good old laugh at his expense, because yeah, they don't serve beers there, and so. He just starts to complain to the bartender again. Please give me a beer. I need a beer, damn it. Like, that's all I want, and I'll get out of your hair. And just give me a beer. I'm sorry, we don't serve beers here. And so the bombshell blonde, down at the end of the other end of the bar, she starts laughing and laughing harder, and she just almost like crying. She's laughing so hard at this bear who can't get a beer. So he just flips his shit, gets so angry, and runs over and just gobbles her up and swallows her down and says, damn it, now I'm even more thirsty. Please give me a damn beer. And the bartender said, sorry, we don't serve drug addicts here. And he's like, drug addict? What are you talking about? What do you mean? He's all, we all saw that bar bitch you ate. And so, yeah, there you go. There's a great joke. Yeah, about bears, beers, and blondes. Yeah. Drug addicts. Yeah. We all saw that bar bitch you ate. And so it's so funny and awesome, like, to have this connection with my mom and to hear my mom, share a joke about bitches. About bitches being bitches. And that was like another fun synchronicity that was coming up this week was bitches be trippin' bitches be trippin' bitches. Bitches be trippin' bitches, trippin' bitches be trippin' bitches. And that was something that I wrote. Yeah, like I wrote a fun poem last year about trippin' bitches be trippin' bitches. Because, I was making friends with the archetype of the bitch. That was like one of the things... that I had resisted all of my life. I didn't ever want to be that bitch, I didn't want to be that bitch. I didn't want to be a bitch or be that bitch that people hate, People love to hate. And so I got to make friends with my inner bitch. And that bar bitch you ate. Yeah, and it's just kind of awesome and funny. Went clothes shopping the other day, and my husband pointed out, like, we were just kind of looking for different places, and I haven't gone clothes shopping for a long, long time, and I had no idea, like, where I wanted to go. So he's like, do you want to just go to the mall and see if there's a store we can find? And I was like, okay, I guess, I'm open to that. I'm open to finding something. And so we actually went to, like, Spencer's, which was, like, one of my favorite stores when I was a teenager, and just went in there for shits and giggles. And my husband pointed out to me, there's a Bitches Be Trippin' shirt up there, and so I was like, oh man, I gotta get that. And so, yeah, the next day, my mom calls and tells me that joke. And it's so funny to hear her say the word bitch, like, so it's fun to share humor and lightness and ease with her and just have it happen authentically and organically in just the best ways. And so, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Like, that's like my daily, like, life. Like, all these things that it's just so funny, and it's just like a constant wink. And so it's just, yeah, just laugh at yourself and trust this and enjoy this ride and enjoy this play and enjoy this time right now. And especially like when I'm not um, stressing myself out to improve and achieve and, yeah, and prove myself worthy and all of that. So it's just like letting go, getting out of my own way, and letting life play, letting me play, letting, yeah, my life and my energy, play and be played and be played through me. So super fun, all these things. And so, yeah, just a lot of synchronicities around past, present, future, and this timeless now, and just the game and the linear and the non-linear cyclical stages of growth and discovery. And so it's so fun right now. It really is, all of it right now. And even though it's like super, super intense, and sometimes gotta just remember to breathe and let whatever I'm feeling or that tension, let it be. And that reminds me of something that Michael Meade had shared about holding the tension of the two. Yeah, so the three can come into being. Yeah, so that the third principle can come into being. Yeah, so interesting. So interesting. And is there anything else that wants to be said about any of that? It was so fun, all of that. So there is a couple things from my journal I wanted to share, but first, there was this amazing poem that I happened upon. I got a nudge to pick up this book that I haven't picked up in about a year or so, and it's called Whispers in the Thread by Lena, Bartula. And I had been introduced to this book by another artist and a friend of mine who I took a couple of her art classes, and also had taken a textile and a cacao class from her, and she had read about like the threads and everything, and it was just total awesome. Reminded me of spider medicine. And after hearing that poem, I was like, okay, that book needs to be in my life. I'm going to get that book. So I did order that book directly from the author. The proceeds went to her, I believe. And so I felt like awesome about that, supporting other artists, yeah, and their work and their creative visions and everything. And yeah, so I'm grateful for this book. And also, like, a lot of synchronicities have been coming around, like fertility and the corn goddess and all of that, and the three sisters, corn, beans, and squash, and different things. And so I just love it all. And this is what I got to flip open to the other day, and it's so great because it's all about like helping me to speak my truth, and like to embody that truth and to live that truth and to be grateful for that truth and to serve the truth and to be that truth. Yeah, to live that truth, love that truth, honor that truth. And so I have been like filling some blocks in certain ways, of course, like, but slowly, like loosening and falling and breaking and dissolving away. And so this is what I got to receive and weave into my tapestry. So this is Psalm by Kathryn Jordan. A woman can't say much. She chokes on dry crackers. She has to tend, be nice, her hands rough from care. A woman makes beds, chops onions, washes other people's clothes. She opens and closes. Each day she stares out the window, hears voices in the next room. Woman! When they hear her sigh. Mother, let her unclamp, unzip her frozen jaw. Let her unlock teeth, make words of bright hue. Let her dare to speak. Why are you doing this? Your way isn't the only way. I am not seeking your approval. I'm not afraid anymore. Kathryn Jordan. And so I looked at this previous page that says, as women, we usually have words still zipped up inside us, waiting to be said, but often our fear of repercussions stops us. I have so much honor and gratitude for those who unzipped and shared their secrets with me in order for this to speak, this piece of art to speak. Even now, I continue to receive suggestions as to what should be written inside the zippers. We must continue to speak our truths. We will no longer be silenced. And so this was a piece of art that she used from hundreds of zippers that were donated to her. And one of the questions, this is like the zippers here. And the words that were beneath what was like zipped up. I think what the question was, let's see. What was it you wanted to say when you were told to zip it up? Yeah. And so that was like, wow, 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 wow. And I was looking for inspiration for my scapegoat. And I was like, oh, maybe that's an idea to put some zippers on there and some in different places and that kind of a thing. And maybe even like some different corset, like weaving or tying and stuff like that, to kind of symbolize like the tightening and then the loosening of what has been like stuffed up. And so, yeah, that's just some inspiration that came my way. So let's get to share it and, see what wants to be. See what wants to be received and created with that. And so, yeah, there's so many other fun things, but what else wants to be shared around these things? So I'll just share a couple of things that I wrote in my journal the last couple days. Allow the changes to take place. Allow the miracles of this grace. Allow the miracles of the great mystery. Allow the love of God's grace to support me and we fully and freely. Allow the transformation of this great awakening, becoming aware that we all are becoming, changing through all we are and all we get to be, all we have been and all that we shall be. And it's not all mine to carry, and it's not all about me. So remember, it's really not personal. I don't need to take things so personally or myself so seriously. So contemplate and look into these sacred path cards. Yeah, there's a couple more to look into. So the water of life, the waters of the womb, the waters of creation, holy waters, salt water, tears, cleansing and purification, protection, the alchemical cauldron, fire water and the spirits of the water, water sprites and dragonfly. Dragonfly uses the water inside its body to change, evolve, and transform, to unfurl its wings from within and be reborn to the air through its watery death and rebirth. Dissolution and resolution, revolution happens from the inside. And then, I wrote down that I had read a couple days ago pages 295 to 309 from Not in His Image, which, I was still trying to assimilate and digest some of those things. And it has to do with the true imagination and fantasia, which is fantasy or illusion. And, confidence and faith. And letting go of attachments And attachment is the action of taking something that is not a part of you and making it a part of you through an emotional or energetic investment. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. Don Miguel Ruiz. And so I looked into the ivy, into the cock again, and just like having like lots of fun with all of that investigation and excavation. And so like the rooster is so funny, and I might just like type up a few fun things that I found out about the rooster that I wasn't aware of, and it's just really fun to learn and to just like make these new discoveries and these connections for fun and for play and for joy, and just because like I'm curious and it all contributes to my learning. And so one of the challenging things that's been coming up for me has been like witnessing and observing certain streams that have to do with stories of judgment and comparison and not enough and too much. And although I know these like stories aren't true, like there's somewhat of a charge in some of them, and so there is some kind of energy, that gets to be focused on and redirected in certain ways. And through telling new stories and dreaming new dreams and seeing myself through a lens of totality. So measuring, comparing, judging, resisting, condemning, divided competition, not enough and too much, playing small for small payoffs, devaluing, dismissing, and demeaning. Let go of limitations, expectations, let go of shoulds, let go of assumptions, let go of agendas, attachments, and judgments. Witness, watch, and see. Surrender with love and be free. Confidence, faith, trust, surrender, willingness, clarity, grace, harmony. The school of life is so fun and so super crazy. It's like graduate school in one sense and kindergarten on the other end of the spectrum. It's just so funny. I just get to keep remembering that I know nothing. So not knowing, embracing the unknown, embracing not knowing, not doing, and different ways of seeing, being, and cooperating, and letting go. Keeping it circulating, regenerating, self-generating, self-perpetuating systems, and all that relates. The Gnostic texts and Sophia, all of this relates. Imagination, true imagination, not fantasia. Corrections and affections, connections, strengths, and soul essence. Confidence, faith, grace, trust, and protection. Self-perpetuating system. Autoposis, autopoetic, the confining principles of the feminine. Measuring, defining boundaries and limits, the 9 aspects of the goddess and the 9 aspects of universal mind. The archetypes and the shards of the fullness, fractalized, shining light. All part of the same thing, just existing at different degrees. The light expressing itself uniquely and individually. Originality, authenticity, novelty. Adaptability, creativity, love, prosperity, and beauty. So it was raining during my last video, and then out of my window, I saw this huge rainbow that stretched across the pond. It was so bright, and it was so beautiful. And then above it, like, it was like this double halo, like, kind of rainbow too. And so I was like, wow. And so I had just read about the whirling rainbow, and that was like really cool. Another cool double rainbow. It's this subtle halo, pretty cool. So, and also like there's other rainbow synchronicities, coming up, and it's just fun and cute and sweet. So we're making a little baby quilt, and there's some rainbow themes that go along with that rainbow quilt, and we have some rainbow yarn we've been using in different things, and so it's super fun. The whirling rainbow. Don't feed the negativity or conflict or fear or disease. Remove the discord from your sphere. The rainbow of peace and truth, unity, wholeness, integrity, inclusivity, balance, fullness, and harmony. Focus attention on beauty and blessings. Faith, the great mystery, miracles, love, and possibilities. Powwow, gather and call in markers, ask for what I need, and honor all resources. Honor, support, and all gifts. Moon Lodge, retreat and rest. Dream time, unlimited vision. Heyokah, lighten up. Shaman's death, letting go. Fire medicine, spontaneity. So structure, foundation, and integrity, accountability, power, freedom, and responsibility. Joy, gratitude, trust, faith, and grace. Knowing, inner knowing. Knowing prosperity, knowing compassion, knowing empathy. Discernment, unlimited vision, and higher discrimination. Differentiation, detachment, and observation. Play and creation. Creative imagination for navigation. Allowance, confidence, transmutation. Rest and vacation, frog medicine. Conserve some energy for potent fertilization, realizations, emanations, revelations, illuminations, exaltations, transformations, changes, metamorphosis, shifting, expanding, new invitations, new initiations, and continuation. Hop to other lily pads and sing your heart soul songs. Call on the spirit of frog to help me with cleansing, clarity, and the thunder beings, the thunderbolts of my mind, for protection and clarity. October 9th. A prayer to Kali Ma for authenticity and removing all the plastic superimposed false realities from my mind, being, and body. Help me and we to find the strength within and all around me and we to face the illusion and deeply penetrate through the density and pain, to come through and forth to meet me in everything I believed I could not be, or I believed that we could not be. The same fields of consciousness, the starseeds, the angelic ground crew, we're all tapping in, tuning in, vibing with, harmonizing, and syncing up with. A language, a light language. The universe is speaking. Everything is talking to you. Are you? Will you? Listen. Are you listening? Do you see? Do you hear? Are you here? Are you listening? Are you receiving? Are you witnessing? Well, yay, I got to go clothes shopping today, and we went to the mall of all places to try to find a store that I liked, LOL. And I ended up going to Hot Topic and Spencer's and Runa Arts. So this is kind of funny, like, where those are like some of my old, fun favorite stores from when I was really, really young. Yeah, this punk-ass teenager. But just went, in there just to see if there was some fun things. And I did find a couple fun things, just for fun. And so I may be showing, and sharing some of those things in the next little while. And so, some fun stuff. So why not dress up occasionally? So I had some good luck, and I noticed some certain things, what I've been drawn to and what I'm repelled by, a lot of the time. So it was fun, to go get some new things and to feel beautiful and to feel like me. So that is a really good feeling, and I like that, and I'll bless that for me. So ring the bells, tuning forks, and inner resonance. It's so great, shining authentically. So days keep on flying by. There's things to prepare for and things we're getting ready for, and things that we get to look forward to. So I'm thinking about the stars, oracles, the light and the darkness, the story of the never-ending story. And thinking about the nothing, the beast, and the witness, the observer, the hero, the child queen, and the new name that she needs to be given to live again. The new name of Star Child, the luminous child, a new name, a new story, a new game, a new time, a new play, a new life. A new experience, renewed life. Anu, the sky, and the earth renewed. To her true glory, her true nature, revealed and known, illuminated, she claims her throne. The queen of heaven and the queen of below, the journey to the underworld and the return home. The scorpion, the venom, and her crown jewels, healing, restoring, third eye, insight, vigilance, trust, protection, clarity, non-attachment, listening, centering, breathing, relaxing into love and acceptance, divine surrender and intervention, cleansing and purging, making room, making space for it all, for us all, for the all to be well. And I've been thinking about how angry I felt, disenchanted, displeased, sad, and disappointed with others and with myself, who I thought or I believed should be able to see past or beyond the trickery, lies, and deceit of this crazy hijacking, play acting, psyop fuckery. Our own bullshit stories and strategies. Like, wow. Like, yeah, just feeling into that, like how upset I really was and how angry I was and kind of how guilty I felt. Like, my secondary reaction, how guilty I felt for feeling those things. And that was like part of my resistance to allowing it all to be. And so just looking at things like, how dare you play so small? How dare you hide? and shut down. How dare you serve the false light? How dare you? How dare you believe in this bullshit clown car circus shit parade? How dare you be afraid of dying? How dare you be so filled with toxic shame, guilt, pain, pride, greed, and vanity, and pretend that you have no other choice than to roll over and play dead, fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, which maybe sometimes it is a good strategy when we have all lost our heads. Yes. And that's coyote, sheep, opossum, ostrich playing in the sand. So yeah, I was feeling so angry about the denial, rejection, control and domination, manipulation and self-deceit, all of this corruption and all the crimes against humanity. I was angry at me and we for being wrong, dumb, and afraid, and so attached to our ideals and our control strategies, needing an external authority or someone to believe, the magical other to see things as I want them to see, as I wish them or desire them to see me. Yeah, to see me and we. So we could be free, so we could be safe, comfortable, and all right to be. And it's me who gets to change this, gets to change all this for me through the power of prayer and the power of serenity. Please help me to let go of all that I cannot change, accepting all that I cannot change. And please help me to change all the things that I can, and help me to receive the wisdom and the guidance to know the difference. Thank you, please. Differentiation, discernment, confidence, faith, and discrimination. Detachment and observation. Grace, faith, humility, gratitude, and devotion. Trust and willingness. Love always. The fields of shared consciousness, flowers blossoming, opening, receiving. She is the corn goddess, generous mother, Kotlaku, Sophia, Gaia, great mother, beauty, Malachite, Hathor, and Horus. Crystals, mirrors, gazing, seeing. She envelops him, also Osiris, and Isis and Hathor are also known as the sycamore tree. The sycamore tree, the fig, the womb, the cauldron, the sanctuary, the void, the crack in the universe, the doorway, the portal, the shield, the sword, the warrior, the rainbow, tears, the fire within, abundance, attention, and remembering. We are all right, Sophie. A psalm from Whispers in the Thread, inspired by Kathryn Jordan from, Whispers in the Thread. Wow, a zipper idea for the scapegoat. When we feel we need to zip it up and zip it up inside. What was it we really needed to say, or what was it we really need to say right now that we have all zipped up and stuffed away? We need to speak our truths. We shall no longer be silenced. We shall speak our truths once again. I am not seeking your approval anymore. Yours is not the only way. I'm not afraid anymore. Let her dare speak. Mother, let her unclamp, unzip her frozen jaw. Let sound unblock her teeth, make words of bright hue. Let her dare speak in love. Why are you doing this? Look into and within. Your way is not the only way. I am not afraid anymore. We will no longer be silenced. We shall speak our heart's truth. We shall stand strong in our truth. We shall speak and be one in love's truth. Unbound, unbroken, unzipped, unlocked, unafraid, unbridled. Yeah. Untamed. Wild. Rewilded. Rewilding. Maybe I did judge others harshly. Those who were lost, so lost in the programming and all the fear porn, ego games, and measuring. Competing, comparing, playing, and forgetting. Silly beings being so silly. Man, a super wild hair came over me to clean up my space yesterday. Yeah, and that made all the difference for me, like, in helping me receive some clarity. Just attending to, yeah, certain areas in my space. And so felt really good to have some order, and then just to place some things in different ways for aesthetic aesthetic sensibilities, just clearing away dust and debris. And yes, that does feel better and great to have a refreshed and cleansed space. But am I avoiding my creative muse and the power I have to fly and to choose, to dream big and to clear out my excuses? I know I'm connected and I'm a divine human too. I am doing my best, whether clear or confused. I trust in this process. I surrender to you, to Creator, to love, to my higher self, to divine guidance and love's highest truth. Oh yeah, some weird dreams with some sex themes and partnering up, straight and gay, fluid and free, letting go of shame and jealousy, or maybe just letting love be always. Interesting, really. Sharing joy, love, and pleasure, and interest, intimacy, for closeness, connection, pleasure, companionship, and learning, exploring, discovering, sharing bliss and mirroring, giving, being, receiving, and releasing, surrendering, thanking, honoring, and blessing. So feelings of tension this morning and underlying fatigue. Am I pushing myself too hard to procrastinate or avoid what I really need? Just let go and be present right here. Clear some room and some space. Breathe right here. Clear out my excuses and slow down my pace. I am willing to show up, confront, and face my fears, my power, and my responsibilities, and all my parts that I've played, and that I get to play through, being my love, being true, being all that I am through all of me. There is nothing to add or subtract, just be me. Let it all go and free love to be all that she is for all that we be. Allow this transition and all that's between, who I am now and who I shall be, who I am now and who I'm becoming, for all love is free. Let it be. The rooster, the hen house, the koi in the pond, the lotus, the sun, and the mud. Abraxas, Quetzalcoatl, Aphrodite, Aries, Concordia, Eris, the golden apple, the fruit tree, the orchard, the three fates, the eagle, the scorpion, the serpent, and Adam and Eve, Lilith, the 9 muses, the 3 worlds, and Christos Sophia, Chiron, the nodes, and Gaia and me, we, the garden, the guardian, the playground, the meadow, sovereignty, authenticity, freedom, knowing our self-worth, wealth, value, and certainty through being all we are, all we need, for all we, eternal worth and creative currency, true imagination, the power to be. Thinking about the bargain without knowing, and holding compassion and true understanding, empathy. Being willing, forgiving, surrendering, and releasing, letting go of judgments and returning home to thee, me, we, and she. Letting go of attachments and old false limiting beliefs, letting go of resentments, expectations, and the need to save or fix things, to smooth it all out and create false peace, comfortable cages, comfort zones, dead ends in the dream weave. Remembering the wisdom of not knowing. Wisdom is knowing that I know nothing, yet I am one with everything. And knowing the power of flight does not come from me. It flows through me, it holds me, supports, and carries me. Just open, soften, trust, and receive. Just be here, just be present through being one with me. I am home, I am safe, it is safe to be me. She is, he is, we are home, so be. Unity, golden sunlight emanating from the fertile darkness, from the heart of she, shining diamonds of the infinite sea, of conscious, unconscious, superconsciousness streams. All is mind and a gift to be. I choose love, joy, truth, beauty, integrity, fullness, wholeness, and the freedom to be. Radical forgiveness, radical acceptance, radical changes, radical actions. Faith-filled, love-filled, fulfilled. Epic changes, epic times, epic selves, epic life, epic lives, epic love, epic I. Journeys, trips, and discoveries. Bitches be trippin' on their journeys of learning and being and becoming. Funny to play, wake up to play, God winking, God playing, God calling. So be. Love and communion, love for all we, surrender, remember, go lightly, step lightly, be in love, joy, and bliss, compassion, wonder, awe, beauty, magic, truth. All this for you, for me, and we. Love is all through you, me, we. Grieving the parts that are dying and that no longer fit me or are no longer aligned with my being. Broken open. Yeah. Broken open, breaking through. Infinite possibilities. How do I refine or redefine myself? Opportunities come in when I let go of what is not working. And I am so done with what is a dead end. I'm so done with all that. So done. So shine, trust. Shine, trust, earth magic, get grounded, shining through. I shine on behalf of the divine. I am willing. I release and let go of my attachments, self-confrontation, and courage. Generosity, faith, humility, grace. Let it all go. Let it all go. Let it all go and let it all be. I am willing, so let it be. Face value, it is what it is. Be open to discovery. Serenity, allowance, acceptance. Meet life as life is. Meet me where I am. Here I am. Thinking about some of the Don Miguel Ruiz quotes, like the one about that the image that other people hold of me isn't really me. It's the image, and that image isn't me. And also realizing that I've held certain false images of others, and it's not who they are, it's who I wanted them to be. And so, vulnerability, discomfort, investigation, excavation, see with her gentle eyes to withstand all that I see. Noble, royal, true, sovereign, self-love, authentic dignity, self-worth, self-respect, self-care, self-evident, self-gnosis, self-knowing, self-perpetuating, self-aware, and we are this greater sense of self, autoposis and confidence, faith, gentle strength, innocence, purity, and trust. And so, yeah, that was from earlier today that I was reading. And I found something fun from 2016 that just kind of made me laugh a little bit. And this is a journal from November 2016. And this is when I had like this major initiation that like rocked my world and rocked my socks off. Yeah, for reals. And I was so vulnerable and I was so raw, but it was just like something that I was so ready for because I had carried around so much pain for so long and been wandering around in the abyss for so long. It was so hard to dig my way out of that. And one day I finally did, because I was just ready to die and I was ready to surrender my life and in service to the mother, in service to Mother Earth, in service to life and to humanity, because I didn't know what else to do at the time. Everything seemed to be collapsing and crumbling and breaking, and I didn't know what else to do with it. So I went and I fell down on my knees and I asked Mother Earth what she needed from me. And she started talking with me, and I was definitely open to listen and to receive. And yeah, what she told me is that I was so needed here, and just to show up and to be myself. And I just said, yeah, of course I'll do that for you and for all of us. I love you so much. I'll do that for you. And I said, but I just don't know how. I don't know how to be myself. Will you please show me how? And so it was just the beginning of this journey, and this fool's journey, this hero's journey, this heroine's journey, this lover's journey that I, got to take for myself, coming back home to myself so that I could be myself, and I could free myself, and I could know myself and love myself and see myself as I really am. Yeah. And be true to myself. And so, just looking back now from this place of almost, 5 years ago, from November, 2016, and now it's October 2021. It's been quite like the initiation, quite the journey, quite the discovery, and quite the soul retrieval and journey. Black night or dark night of the soul at some points, but there has been so much light to help guide me through it all. And so just wanted to share a couple things that I wrote, and it's we'll see where we'll want to go from there. So let's see. What love, care, and validity are you gifting to you for you and your well-being's needs? What do you get to choose to ask yourself and others for help in meeting and supporting your and our needs? Is there something heavy weighing on you? Does it need love, understanding, and forgiveness? Is it asking you to stand up for yourself, to speak up for yourself and what you need? Don't make demands. That's pushy energy. That's not well received. What are you aware of? What is already present? What gifts are you aware of? What gifts do you see? What are you contributing to? What is contributing to you? What would you like to create and contribute? What would you like to give? And what would you like to receive? Ask those questions to begin to know and see what you need and what's needed from you. To meet those needs, wants, desires, what choices can you make to consciously create new ways to fulfill your needs and how you'd like to show up, be, give, and receive. You can have anything you want. Just show up, tune in, turn on, relax into now, to allow, holding the space of allowance, to see what you need to see, feel what you need to feel, ask, listen, open, and receive. To know what you need to know, to choose what feels right for you. It's totally up to you to choose to be or not to be. That's up to you. That's up to you to see, to choose, to learn, to grow, to live, to teach, to feel, to breathe, create, to practice, play, sing, dance, to be free, to love, give, share, and receive. Lessons, gifts, messages, mirrors, teachers, lovers, me and we, all and everything. No need. The answers 24/7, the answers that you truly need. Trust and ask for. What you ask for, you will receive at the right moment if you're paying attention and checked in to the heart's deep listening. Some of this writing is so chicken scratch. So after the ecstasy, the laundry. I've been on such a high this whole month, coming down slowly back to earth, feeling a bit tired and run down. My body is asking for rest and reflection. I'm choosing to ask for new choices to play with. Yes. So choosing to remind myself to allow all my feelings, the triumphs, the pleasure, the joy, love, the beauty, and the yucky, humdrum, and low-down feelings too. It's all part of this whole. I can't have one without the other, so choose to be whole. So, it was just kind of fun to go back and look at some of these things, and it's not all that different from, what I'm, involved in and immersed in right now. And so it's just kind of funny, all this It's right now. And this, so notice, to practice right now. My intention, my response to care for me, to plant, nurture, and receive allowance. And remembering, that I can't do it wrong. Just hold the space for it all to be. Choose to or choose not to. So everything is in me. I am beauty, joy, love, tragedy, and pain. I have gone through so much suffering. I am death and I am life. I am day and I am night. I am my angel. I am my good girl. I'm my wild woman. And I'm my whore and my devil. I'm my cocky and I'm my unsure. I'm my soft generosity. And I'm my miser, stingy cold. I'm the calm and I am the storm. I had to die before I was reborn. No need to resist or fight the fear of this resistance. Relax, allow, ask, trust, and listen. Rewind, unwind, and remind. Remind myself of what's dear. Remind myself of what's kind and true. Accept and allow what's now. And what now is telling you. You get to choose how you respond. It's all for you. Just be you. All of you. Play around and rest. Play around and rest. Ask right questions, and if in doubt, let it go and give it back to love. Surrender it to love and the angels. Super fun and super awesome. Love that I get to choose, and love that I got to choose for me, which just writing those things and choosing a consistent practice of writing, that was one of the best things I could have chosen for myself and for my own well-being and the love I needed for me. And so I'm super grateful that I was initiated and I answered the call. I heard the call and I answered the call, and it was one of the most beautiful things I could have done, but there was so much pain that brought it about. And so I am grateful for all of it and for being able to turn it all around through changing my mind one day at a time and knowing I am able. So knowledge is power, but knowing that we're powerful really helps us too. And so if we can have that faith and that confidence in ourselves and believe in ourselves and remember what's true, then let's choose that for ourselves. And so there was a couple of archetypes that I wanted to share, but this is a little longer than I had anticipated. I'm still looking into the Handless Maiden, the Tale of the Handless Maiden, and on part 4, stage 4, Finding Love in the Underworld. And also looking into some fun things from this book, Potentiate Your DNA, that has to do with tuning forks and inner resonance and soul songs and all of that, and tapping into this collective field of consciousness, which is very awesome. Also looking at the ninefold aspects of the goddess here, and it's very, very cool, looking into a lot of these things which have to do with the aspects of the universal mind and all of those archetypes, and seeing how they all are, some of these are interchangeable, and how they can be used so that we can navigate through this time of transition and discovery. And so the first one is the energizer, the activator that gets things moving, rising. The second is the measurer that defines limits. The third is the protector that guards limits and boundaries. The fourth is the initiator that deepens the experience. The 5 is the challenger that opposes dogma and challenges the status quo, shakes up the tower of false systems and shaky foundations, which, there's some synchronicities in there as well. The deliverer brings liberation, the weaver makes connections, the preserver sustains and nourishes, and the empowerer brings wisdom. And so that's where I will leave it, and I am sending you love and well wishes for your well-being and for your discovery and for this adventure of life and love and play. And what do we get to do with it? And how do we get to show up? What do we get to claim? What do we get to choose? And what do we get to create? What do we get to create together and individually? Yeah, what do we get to offer to the whole in service to humanity, and just in service to our divinity, in service to our awakening and our becoming whole, our healing and our revealing and our uncovering, our discovery, our becoming all we are and all we've been. Yeah, just revealing what's always been hidden within, what's always been here. Yeah. All the love, all the beer. Yeah. So looking at my fears and being willing to confront and face those fears and knowing that it's okay, calling on my allies and my resources and honoring all the lessons and the truth within, and knowing the answers are hidden, but they are revealed. Yeah. Through that asking and desiring and that seeking and that knowing and that, yeah, guidance and the journey that we choose to take. Yeah. And so, love and blessings to all of you. So much gratitude for all of you, for all we are, for all I am, for all that is and all that's coming through. So this birthing opportunity, this dying and this rebirthing, these life-death life cycles, and this continual renewal, regeneration, and recreation, and playing with God, to know ourselves, yeah, and love ourselves, to be true to ourselves, to be one with ourselves. All right. Love you always. We'll see you next time.